I mean, go ahead, Nick. 'Cause I'll come after you.
Okay, so thanks, Akima. I'll be brief, right? So the reason why it comes across as disingenuous is because Mark's district is a district that I grew up in. I spent 18 years living in, right? Is about 45 minutes from downtown Chicago. It comes across disingenuous because it's a wealthy suburb filled with some of the best schools in the entire area, and it would be in their like the thought process that they're shipping a bunch of poor Venezuelan migrants to schools where the teenagers are literally driving BMWs is ridiculous, right?
Nobody said
This
that.
this is a
Nobody said
district that
that.
is above average
Okay.
income, lower than
You're
the
mis.
average
You're
crime rate,
making.
and that's like
Nobody
sounds
said
like
that they were
bullshit
doing that.
because
That's what I'm
Okay,
they're
once
saying.
not
again, I
Why
got
you
representing
say
five
Nobody
you
said
people
that?
that.
talking.
correctly
Once again.
according.
Okay, I don't know. Did you guys, did I not speak English when I said one mic at a time? Why is everybody being so rude to each other tonight? What the fuck got into some of you people? Nicholas, finish laying your plane, and then we'll go back to Norm and Mark. Go ahead.
Okay, so that's part of the reason why it comes across as disingenuous. The numbers that don't substantiate what he's saying, first of all. Second of all, when you're trying to represent the western suburbs, western wealthy suburbs, as being the core of immigrations being sent to Chicago, it comes across as dishonest. And y'all people forget that are not from Chicago, that Chicago metro area is about 10 million people, right? So, like, and I highly doubt that there are 50,000 people getting sent to St. Charles, which is where I grew up. Uh, they would literally burn the town down if that was the case. It sounds like bullshit. It sounds like he's being dishonest.
But
And
you're
that's all I have
calling
to say.
bullshit on something he didn't say,
Can I
and that is
say,
dishonest.
can
He
He
I
did
never
say
said
interject?
what
it
you.
though. He did say that though.
No, he never
Just,
said what you're saying. He said, and that's what's
guys,
so absurd. Why don't you let
He,
him
Well,
make his case?
hold on. Everybody mute up. Everybody mute up.
yeah,
Let me
but
just
you
say
have
this.
to free.
Mark, I'm going to give you a chance. Mark, I'm going to give you a chance, I promise. I don't know Mark Rice in real life. I've only shared space with him on this app, a lot of space. One thing I believe, my intuition tells me, he's an honest guy. His lived experience is obviously different than Hakeem is or Nicholas, the great Nicholas. But I'm not going to cut down his lived experience and what he believes. Because no matter what we tell him, we're not going to change his mind anyway. But be respectful to each other. Let Mark answer. Again, Marky.
Okay, guys, this is just a misunderstanding. My district is 850,000 people. St. Charles is maybe 20,000. It is a very nice community. You're right. And there isn't that much crime in Charles. It's a little bit isolated. Elgin, on the other hand, is like 100,000 people. The greater Elgin area, it's more than 50% Hispanic. For instance, the schools, they're at a 13% grade level of reading and arithmetic, both. And there's a lot of crime. It's a big area, and it also goes all the way into the city of Chicago. And it is true. And by the way, the mugging that my son suffered through was three Venezuelans who were illegals. So it's a crime even goes with the business of the
where did it
migrant.
happen, Mark? Where? What
And it
exactly?
happened
Where?
actually in Elgin, which is right in the middle of the district. And I know
No,
you guys don't know the district, so
nowhere
you
Was
near
it in the
Chicago, right?
paper? Was it in the paper?
well, it's Chicago. The whole thing is Chicago. It's Chicago and the suburbs. Okay, now maybe you don't like me describing it that way, but that is what it is. You can look at a map. You can go to my website and check it out. It's a Chicago land
Well, Mark, why don't you do
district.
this, Mark? Mark, pin
Yeah.
some links in the chat that we could all validate what you're saying. And then you can shut people up. Can you do that?
It's like it's a silly argument, like Norm said, because I actually know the statistics cold, and I know the people, and I know the sheriffs, and of course I know what's going on. But it is true there are parts that are affluent. It's not a horrifically affluent area. There's a lot of my district, which is more what you call middle and low class, I suppose. If you were to look at that, I'm driving through it right now. I'm right by O'Hare Airport. If you want to tell me that the public housing and this
Nothing
area
impoverished up
in
there. There's no public
Chicago.
housing up there. Like, what are you talking about, Mark?
Oh my God! So if you don't know what Section 8 is, then you don't know. But there's a lot of Section 8 housing
Section
in
8
this
and public
area.
housing is two different things.
Oh
Like,
my.
Well,
he's
Jay, you
God,
gotta
shit.
get this
Hey Jay,
understood.
he's
it's
conflating
government
Section 8
assistance.
with public housing. That's just ridiculous.
Where does the money come from for Section 8? Why don't you educate me since I'm in the business? Go ahead. Where's it
a,
come from? The
a person
government.
a
What
person with section
business?
a person with Section 8 can move in any neighborhood. There's no limits to a person with Section 8. They
No,
can move
you're wrong.
anywhere they can move
So wrong.
anywhere where they. Let me finish up real quick.
You're wrong.
Can I? You asked me a question.
Go
Can I
ahead.
finish? Okay, I'll
Go
shut
ahead.
up.
Go ahead.
Mark,
What
let
do
him
you?
finish, Mark. Go ahead, Akima.
Go ahead.
No, like you're acting like that you got public housing projects up there. Like you're being disingenuous. Like you want to act like the western suburbs and the northern suburbs, along with the north side of Chicago, are some of the greatest places in the world to live. And but like I get why I do not get why you trying to act like you represent Chicago or some bad neighborhoods, because you just simply don't. Like, do your district stretch to parts of Chicago? Maybe.
Yes,
But
not maybe.
okay, yes, okay, sure, yes. I guarantee you it's Hispanic people that it expands to. That's first of all. But like you are not in terrible neighborhoods. I guarantee you that 85% of your district is middle class at the very least. You do not have an impoverished district in your neighborhood. There's no neighborhood, there's no projects in your neighborhood. Maybe
Wait,
Section 8 to
Hakima, do you not have to mute up? I just have a question. What? Give me the exact district that you're in. I'm gonna look it up myself.
the,
Where
the district I'm in.
No, that
did
Mark
he
is
say
in.
that it was a
The
low class?
congressional
He
district,
gave me what
Jay.
the
Hold
neighborhood
on,
No,
is.
Nomi.
no,
Nomi,
no.
Nomi. Hold on, guys,
I
hold
can
on a
tell you
second.
why I asked that question though.
Hakima, I want to look it up. Mark, what district are you going to be representing?
8
Eh,
U.S. Congressional 8.
I'll be
Yeah,
right back. Go ahead, guys.
and
yeah.
and,
Go
and,
check it
and,
out.
and those are western
The
suburbs, which is
internet section in
a
Mark's
wonder
talks about
a
here.
wonderful place to live. Like all those places in the western suburbs are a wonderful. There's not one bad suburb in the western suburbs, not one, literally not one. Now your district may dip into Chicago some because of gerrymandering or whatever they want to do, but
Yeah,
those neighborhoods on the outskirts, right off Harlem and Cicero, and none of them neighborhoods
yeah.
are horrible either. Does crime happen there? Yes, it happens
Said
everywhere.
that.
But
Right.
you cannot convince me that there's some major crime problem with the police, with
Okay.
immigrants, or with bad public schools. Maybe like
Here,
you described. Let me finish, sir.
I told you about Elgin. You don't
May I
listen.
finish? May I finish?
Yeah.
Yeah, Elgin is a shit neighborhood that's closer to Wisconsin than it is Chicago. So like
What are you
let's be.
talking about?
So
Look
Elgin
at
is
the
not closer
look
to
at the map.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Well,
you're
yes,
wrong.
no,
You're
I'm
wrong.
not wrong.
Look at a map
No,
then. Just
no,
look at a
my
map.
God. All
You don't
right,
know what
whatever.
you're talking about.
You do not represent
Just
a bad
drive
neighbor.
from
You do
Chicago
not,
to Elgin.
sir, Mark. You
18
do not
miles.
represent a bad district, Mark. You do not represent a bad district. You just do not. So
Elgin is
stop.
affluent. Is that what you're saying?
Stop. So it's
Yeah.
like 8,000 people in Elgin. Elgin is a fucking rural land. It's like it's not a metropolitan city at
You
all.
just get in
Like
a
like
car and drive around. You don't know what you're talking about. You just don't. Sorry, but
maybe
you
you
just
shouldn't be running for office because you clearly don't
I'm
know
done.
Chicago.
sitting here in Elgin. I know you've probably never been there. I know what to tell you.
You steady want to
And
say Elgin. What about Naperville? What about Naperville? What about Schaumburg?
I'm not in
What?
Naperville, so you're just stupid. I'm
What?
sorry, you're saying
Oh,
really
now I'm
dumb.
stupid. Okay, okay.
It's because I'm not in Naperville. So why do you
I-
keep talking about Naperville?
Is
I don't have
Naperville a west suburb? Is
not
it a west suburb? Is it a west
Naperville.
suburb?
Not a west suburbs. I'm only in whatever. Look at a map.
You
I'm
said
not
west
trying.
suburbs,
So,
Mark.
Hakima, the way
Mark,
that this
you
is cut up,
I
it
did.
excludes Naperville. So the way that our
There
district or
is no
my former
Naperville.
district is cut up, it's cut up in a really funky way. There's one tip of it
Yeah,
that goes
I've
closer
been
to
there.
Chicago, and most of it is out in the corn, which is what Mark is failing to represent on this stage. He's claiming the
No,
one little section that is close to Chicago, while the majority of
exactly.
it is out
my
by
little
St. Charles, Geneva, etc.
Okay, I'll tell the people in Chicago that I don't represent them because you guys know better than I do. But what I can explain to you is if you ask the people, whether they're in the suburbs, even the nice suburbs, even St. Charles, what are their top three concerns? They will tell you it is the border and it is crime and it is the inflation and or the economy, however you want to say that. It just is what it is. And some of it is, frankly, even in St. Charles, where there's not a lot of crime, there's more than they like, and there's not a lot of problems with illegals, but there's actually a lot more than they like because what happened is they're kicking
Good
them out.
job. You slipped it
So
in. Norm
remember
made the
the
point.
St. Charles.
Those are
The
common
point is
themes in
they're,
America.
they're
So we
coming
all
out to the
agree with you,
suburbs.
Mark.
Of course, but why the hostility and this business that I somehow inherited money? I mean, what are you? You're in my bank account. I haven't
I'll
inherited
speak to
money.
that because I said it. So, Mark,
Yeah,
you
what's that
gotta
about?
know your audience. So, like, I asked people in commercial real estate because both sides of my family are in commercial real estate.
Yeah,
I reached
yeah,
out to the people at the the International Council of Shopping Centers.
It's
I
called
know a
IC.
bullshitter. I know a bullshitter when I hear one. You're a
Yeah.
bullshitter. You're a
Yeah. So I.
bullshitter who
Well,
inherited tons of money. You
oh my
inherited tons of
God!
money. You
Sound like a.
inherited tons of money, and you're not that
No
bright.
thing.
That's
Tell
what
me
you
how
are.
I inherited. Well, okay, I could not be bright. I can't prove that, but I can prove I haven't inherited a dime. I just buried my mother and I had to pay for the funeral. So
You're
you
not
just don't
smart
know me.
enough to have the kind of money
What,
you have. Let's put it
what kind
that way.
of money do I have? You act like you know that I inherited money and that I
You've
have a
talked.
lot of. You just have no idea. What are you talking
I
about?
absolutely know because I'm smarter than you. I know how to find these things
Where am
out.
I from? Am I from Chicago?
I don't need to know any more details than I just
No.
shared with you. I'm
I'm
just
from
making
small town
sure I'm
Texas.
just making sure that you don't lie anymore on this
No.
stage.
Well, I'm making sure that somebody like you, who is so nasty as to call somebody stupid and like
Hey,
you're
hey, you said in politics that you have to have tough skin, right? Hey, you're in politics.
Exactly.
Hey baby,
Right. So
you're in
what I'll do
politics. I'm
is I'll
calling you
call
out.
you out.
I'm
I'll
calling
call
you
you
out,
out.
baby.
Yeah,
I'm calling
and
you
I
out,
love it
baby.
because you're showing your ignorance by saying things that you have no way to know. So it doesn't bother me. I'm not going to cry tonight. I just know that I'm talking to somebody probably in their basement who doesn't have a life and
No,
maybe
go
doesn't
ahead.
have a
Go
job.
ahead and look. We've
You
first of
wanted
all,
to say
dumbass, we've had this
just confirm
conversation before. You may not
Well,
recognize my name, but we
I don't
had this
know whether
Let
conversation,
it go,
and you
Chet.
were
Let it go,
dumb
Lily.
enough. You were dumb
yeah,
enough
what's
to
your name?
divulge enough
What
information
is your
for me to
name?
go find out. You're full of shit. You're a compulsive liar, and you really don't belong on this
I
stage.
found out that
But
I'm
he is running for
wealthy,
Congress.
I inherited money, and also that I'm stupid, and you're telling me
well,
from that.
Mark, hold on a second. Mark, I need you to mute up for a second.
Okay.
Give me a second. So, he is legitimately running because I looked that up. Every link I try to pin it, Clubhouse wouldn't let me pin up. Hold on, Howard. Let me just finish close my train of thought. I have to tell you, Mark, I've been around Jordan for a couple of years now. I've never heard Jordan get this animated, ever. Usually he's very calm, cool, and composed. Hold on, let me finish. You've been speaking a long time, and I've been listening. So sometimes you gotta listen. But I've never heard Jordan get like this. Norm, I agree. We need to stop the personal attacks, whatever the issues are. Um, but let me say hello to Howard real quick, and then you guys can saute each other up.
Yeah. Hey, real quickly, just a couple of points of clarification. I know it got really heated, and Mark Rice is running. I don't think you have a chance. I mean, you're a Republican in not only a blue state, but a blue metro area. But best of luck. But the fact is, Elgin is a west suburb. It's just west of O'Hare. Part of it, actually, I think, borders O'Hare. And part of it is very urban, and has a lot of issues, like an inner city issue. Hakima, you said it was closer to Milwaukee. You may be thinking of Waukegan, which is a similar type of community that's in the northern part of the state. That is
I said
actually, I think,
Wisconsin, not Milwaukee. I said
yeah,
Wisconsin.
but Waukegan's right on the border of
No,
Wisconsin, so I think,
I know that Wisconsin is
yeah.
north. Waukegan is north when you going through